it's a technical difficulty. We are trying to get through some technical difficulty. I'm trying to record a podcast, have 3 channels here, including YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So it's trying to get through. I'm trying to get my assistant here, trying to help. This is not doing a good job, but I think we're good to go. Are we good to go?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Is YouTube's live? She needs to take a picture. So this is a part of. Are we good?
Hold on, YouTube's live. I'm using cellular data.
Okay, so maybe all my house data has been I took all the data that I can load here, guys. I'm gonna start this podcast. So this is usually when I start a podcast, I usually like to kind of welcome you guys. So let's just give me a second here. If you are listening or watching on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, just put a note. I'll go each of those channels and review your comments and then answer it in according time. So let's go. Let's start today. Let me reset my podcast here. I would like to welcome you to Emran's podcast. Right now, we're also doing the live video here at Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, all 3 places. I don't know what you see. Hopefully, it looks good. This is the first of the type. I've done a few of this like this in the past, but I have not broadcast all three channels plus my recording podcast. So let's get to the topic. As you know that I went out there this weekend to run Lake Martin, try to get to my 8th Lake Martin buckle. I have all of them here. I think one is on my belt. I at least have one. All 6 of them here. One with the ball. I just want to show you some of this thing. This is the original buckle, Texas made, very beautiful buckle. I love this. I have 3 of this or 4 of this. I may have 4 of this, and the recent years we've been making buckles like this. This is also still a beautiful buckle. So I went out to get my 8th buckle. End up with getting a 50 miler medal. Nothing wrong with that. As you can see, I have plenty of medals in my background around the world. I do a lot of things, and we can do medal tour in a future episode. But let's talk about Lake Martin. Why I dropped to mile 50. So it has been a year of almost 10 months of injuries, and no excuse here. I'm just kind of building my story. 10 months of injuries and pain and suffering. I pretty much took myself out of trail, out of long runnings, and most of my long runnings were a marathon. As you saw, I'm going from city to city, places to places, around the world, doing pacing. September when I did Berlin was really hard for me because it was the middle of my injuries that I was trying to get over, but things were still bad for even all the way to January. So I have not been training the way I usually do for Lake Martin, but definitely right when I went to Rome, I had all my injuries kind of suddenly went away. It's like I felt really good. Rome was really one of those, the run that I had that I did not feel any pains. I was worried as I was traveling. So I was like, hey, Lake Martin's a week after. Hey, man, maybe things will show up and I'll be okay. So as I report to you right this moment, I had none of those pains and those injuries. Just all went away magically. There's no magic to it, but I've been working on it. But still, it's magically went away. But when I as I was lining up, I arrived. Usually the way it goes at Lake Martin, we used to have cabins, and we used to. There are many different things I've done at 9 years of being at Lake Martin. I've done many ways. So in recent years, I just go to Alex City, find a hotel. They have few hotels there. So I just stay there, which is about 30 minutes out of the where we start. And showed up in the morning as I was driving. It was raining, which is fine. Rain never bothers me, but then when just as I was parking to take out my stuff, it was pouring rain. It was just like, my God, it was like lightning and raining. So the day just started just like that. And I took my stuff to our tent that Carrie brings the tent for me over the years. He's done great things, for me, helping me to, have things to place, cooking stuff, bring food. He has been a great support. And thanks, Carrie, for doing that. He was running 27 mile with his wife, and so I kind of dropped my box and went around as usual. Suman's doing Suman thing, just late arriving. It was really it was not my intention to be late, but it really late. And then I was worried that my wife will get stuck because everybody kind of were rushing to get out and get to the start line and all those. And also it's dark when you start at Lake Martin. It's kind of dark. So anyway, so that whole thing, I heard David saying, hey, we'll be starting in 5 minutes. I was just pinning my bib and trying to settle myself in, and there goes everybody left. And I was waiting for my wife to give me a thumbs up for her to get out of the parking area and the grass area, and she got out and she gave me a thumbs up and then left. So as I went through, I met a lot of you on the way. Kevin, he's actually second to the last. There was somebody after him came, but he caught up to me and we stayed together for a while. I usually, as I don't run with the folks. Usually when I race, except if you are pacing, that's the only people. But usually I just run by myself, especially if I'm racing. So I was glad to have somebody with me, go along, kind of keep my pace. We were having a great pace, and just conversation. And about close to mile 18, he had to drop, but he had to stop for a few minutes. I kind of left him there. I found other folks to kind of go along with me. I got to mile 18, which was great. Then got out, which was still fine. Then as I was going to the last loop, we call it 7 mile loop. It's close to 7 mile loop. The heat started building up, and I started getting hot. That's when I started realizing this day it's going to be different. So I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a different day. As it goes, when you train in the winter, and then you go out and run on the heat wave, heat condition like what we had, it's really difficult. I felt that whenever I was doing Little Rock. Towards the end, I was feeling really hot. I do train in the heat. I love heat, as a lot of you know. My 3/8 is for the summer, but most of us haven't been able to train in that fast, and that in that condition, not fast, but in the heat condition. So just there's no opportunity for this Lake Martin, but as it goes in the spring weather, in South, you're gonna have thunderstorm. You may have heat, and that's what we got first part of the day. A beautiful morning, but afternoons, wow, it was brutal. Somebody mentioned that it got to 90 degrees weather, but it felt really dry, and it was really hot. So anyway, so we all had to deal with that. I kind of knew at that point that half of this field is going to be taken over by this heated weather. So we kind of went, and then I got to Heavenly Hill, and got to that's where usually back to Heavenly Hill is like about 34 miles. That's where usually my wheel falls apart. That's where usually I try to double guess myself. Let me just drink some water. And I kind of knew that this day is not going to turn out to be the way I wanted, but sorry, it was still too early. So I went ahead and kept going. Then arrived back to the Heavenly Hill, where I had another shot, the third shots of a fireball. Thanks for all the volunteers at the Heavenly Hill, and I really thoroughly enjoyed that big party environment. The Butts friends out there, they always take care of me, looking forward to me to come by, and it's a really lively environment going there, you know. And then I kept going from there, but the day got slower and then slower and slower. By the time I got to the main aid station, I was really, that was about 43 miles, 40 to 43 miles. I was really falling behind in my time, and then I had to stop, rested for about 30 minutes, and I went, and then I got even slower. So by the time, and you know, it was like I was sleepy, slower. It just I was really in a dark end of this. So I said, this is not going well. I already decided I'm gonna stop at mile 50 this year, because you know, I calculate the time, how many hours I will need, you know, how many hours I'm doing and how many hours I'll need. And I realized it's not, I will not have sufficient time to finish it even next day if I would have continued. You know, usually they would like us to finish by sunset at 4:30, 5 o'clock at next day. That's what I did last year, 36 hours and 17 minutes. So I thought, well, I'll continue, but then I knew that it's my whole body condition was not great. Whatever I had, whatever I was feeling, I usually feel that nowadays. You know, tired, sleepy. I take a nap, but usually I'm really further into the race than just trying to get to 50. So that's where everything kind of, I knew that that is not gonna work. So I just came to the main aid station, and then I stopped. So right after I stopped, it started raining, and you know, I went back to my tent, changed a little bit, went to sleep, and next thing I hear is pop, 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 and then start having the hailstorm going through. So that's kind of pretty much, you know, pretty much where how I laid out. David, you know, it's great. You know, thanks for doing all this, whatever you do for us. That's one thing for sure. And all the crews, the volunteers, the main aid station, they were just taking care of me and asking me, trying to provide stuff to me. And, you know, it's been always great. It's almost took a whole community to at least get me to the 50 mile. You know, next time, sometime I say it takes a village for you to, for us to get up and get to 100 mile. And sure enough, it does. It does take a lot of effort, not just by a runner like me, but also the volunteers and the support, the family. My family's just worried about, you know, they're always worried when I run 100, but especially this they start seeing how quickly I'm getting depleted. So they were happy that I stopped, and you know, the hailstorm came through. So that was kind of, I texted Trey, who was supposed to pace me maybe, and you know, we were kind of talking about if I continued, he may kind of jump into kind of go along with me, just walk with me. He texted me back saying, "You're lucky. Consider yourself lucky, because we just had a hailstorm here, and he was out there." And one other thing I say, for sure, for those of you fitness, congratulations. Any distance, you know, 50 miler was not easy, even for me. As I just described, it was really tough challenge for me. You know, I used to finish 50 mile. And my first time when I did it, that course, I did 50 miles in 10 and a half hours. This year, it took me 18 and a half hours. So I've fallen really far in my ultra distance running, which is fine. I'll pick back up. We can talk about that just a little bit in a minute, but it was hard. You know, I used to easily finish in 13 hours, the 50 miler. So those never an issue. But you know, but this just the way it happened. But those of you finish 50 milers, you know, 27 milers, you know, you guys did great. You know, that's it's hard. Those of you stuck and did 100 miler, I love it. That's where true ultra runners are made. That's what I call, you know, you know, we're all ultra runners, we do ultra distance, but when you just go through two, you know, thunderstorms. I mean, we're talking about, heavy thunderstorm, two of them, one earlier of the day and next morning, and then hailstorm and the heat. I mean, this year the Lake Martin had the whole this race had the weather, the Mother Nature just like after us. Those of you stuck and finished the race and got your buckle, congratulations. I was posting on my what do you call timelines and some of the videos that I was saying, and some of the things I'm saying to you is I call it Lake Martin 100 Warrior. As you know, a lot of you know, and we joke about it. I'm a Lake Martin. Ghost of Lake Martin, ghost had died, so he'll come back. Don't worry, this is not the last time he will show up. But as for this year, I'll tell you, you get a badge of the 2023 Lake Martin Warrior badge, 100 Lake Martin 100 Warrior badge. That was something. And if you got your buckle before all these things fell apart, you're a true warrior. So anyway, so congratulations. So it's talking about, what to look forward. Like I said, I will be back. I'll, like every year, I say I will train better, which I don't know what next year will bring. Hopefully there's no injuries that I have to deal with, but definitely I'm changing already. I'm trying to change to get there, get better, and ultra running. Like I said, if I've fallen too far, I'm going to come back to it, and we'll talk about it more in a future podcast. But thanks for listening. Really, thanks for being out there. I met a lot of you out there telling me how much you enjoy my podcast, watching my video, and all those. I'm slowly I'll slowly produce all the Lake Martin video that I collected. Like I said, I didn't stay long enough to collect a lot more, but definitely whatever I have, I will put that out there. And also, if you have not liked and subscribed, especially YouTube, please do. I'm trying to grow this channel. I do a lot of things for free, and everything is everything costs time for everything. So, but anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for being out there. Do like and subscribe, follow. If you need my help, just let me know. I'm out here, and if you like whatever I'm doing right now, please let me know. I'm just kind of rambling through. I know we don't have guests at this time, but here I am. I'm broadcasting 3 media plus my podcast here. So I'll clean up podcast just a little bit. I like to clean up, but YouTube Live and Instagram Live, all this live will stay the way it is. But anyway, thank you. Thanks for your time. Let's look at this buckle again. This beautiful buckle still. The baby version of the bigger. Let me bring this one. The current year's baby version of the big buckle you get. The metal is still beautiful. 50 miles, still a good distance to be. But I went to go get the buckle, the 8th buckle, and end up with the metal, which is nothing wrong with that. But hey, I'm not done. The ghost has not died. It'll be back and chasing that and the dream of getting another buckle again. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being out there, and more later. Bye. I'm gonna stop all this now. Thank you.